Episode 2, Chapter 2, Brock Hauser. Las Orillas, California. Thursday, September 7. Morning. Brock Hauser sat in his car with his eyes on Bill Benedict's house. Benedict was a slip-and-fall case, seeking a payday from the insurance company of the store where he fell. Given Benedict was 46, an Army vet, a loving father of a 6-year-old child with autism, and a husband whose wife battled breast cancer the year before, he would likely clean up in front of a jury. So, the adjuster was looking for anything they could get on the guy. Which was why Hauser was now working his 19th day tailing the guy, despite never seeing him do anything remotely incriminating. The man never even left his house, and the most damning evidence Hauser had gathered so far was video of Benedict stepping from the front porch to collect his mail one afternoon. Other than that, he was a recluse. Hauser had exactly dick on the guy, and if he didn't get something soon, the insurance company would have flushed $600 a day right down the drain, which was fine by Hauser. He didn't care for the adjuster assigned to the case at all. The guy, Victor Reynolds, had a hard-on for Benedict for no good reason, and Hauser didn't want to be part of screwing over a guy who hadn't done anything wrong. So, as Hauser wound down his time watching Benedict, he almost found himself hoping not to catch the guy doing anything. Most insurance frauds were stupidly easy to catch. People usually got busted in one of 3 ways: in the act of doing things a disabled person couldn't do, posting pictures and video to their social media accounts of themselves doing things they claimed they couldn't, or getting greedy taking a second job. Benedict wasn't doing any of these things. He used his Facebook wall to complain about the pain, depression, and not being able to work. The guy was either the real deal or the most committed faker Hauser had ever seen. Hauser had a good sense for these kinds of things, and he'd bet his last dollar that the guy was legit. The other thing about insurance fraud cases, however, was that you could spin evidence any way you wanted. The adjuster didn't need airtight evidence on Benedict, just enough to sway a jury to side with the poor, embattled insurance company against the evil scammer looking for a payday on the backs of rates that the hard-working people like the ladies and gentlemen of the jury had to pay. Hauser was bored shitless. He had one eye on his iPad, flinging angry birds at green pigs and passing time, while the other stayed on the house. Suddenly, he spotted movement in his rearview mirror. Hauser had his hand at his shoulder holster and fingers on the butt of his gun in an instant, prepared as always for someone seeking vengeance. The figure wore a black shirt, black jeans, and a black ski mask pulled over his face. He also had black gloves and was carrying a crowbar. After slipping between the cars parked along the street behind Hauser, he headed to the front door of the house next door to Benedict's. Is this fucker actually wearing a ski mask in broad daylight? Doesn't he even see me sitting here? Hauser let go of his gun, grabbed his cell with one hand, and dialed 911, then waited for dispatch to answer. With his free hand, he grabbed his video camera, popped out the video he'd been using to surveil Benedict. The client insisted on videotape, not digital, then fumbled through his center console and grabbed another tape. He slid it in, pressed play to make sure he wasn't taping over anything important, then hit record and raised the camera to catch video of the burglar. A dispatch operator picked up, and Hauser filled her in on what was going down. His time as a cop led him straight to the point. The dispatch operator, a friendly-sounding woman, asked, "What's he doing now?" "Just broke into the house." Hauser trained his camera on the front door. "You got someone coming?" "Officers are on the way, sir." The burglar popped out of the house a few minutes later, a black duffel bag bulging at the seams and slung over his shoulder. "He's out." Hauser turned the camera, following the guy as he sprinted across the yard to a car parked 3 behind Hauser. The guy got inside, then pulled away. "He's in a red Camry, heading east on 17th, just north of Gardenia Drive." Hauser looked at Benedict's house and figured the guy wasn't going to come outside doing gymnastics in his yard anytime soon, so he pulled from the curb and followed the burglar. Moments later, he updated the dispatcher. He just turned south onto Greenview. "Are you following him?" "Yes, ma'am," Hauser said. "Oh. I think he spotted me. He's speeding up. but don't worry. He's not going to lose me. Sir, do not chase him, the dispatcher said. You don't want to catch him? Hauser asked. I'll back off when I see some cops. Until then, I'm following. The dispatcher was silent. She must be new. He sped up, pulling closer to the Camry. Hauser hit 60 in a 45 to keep pace. The community was on the quiet side, without much traffic, but that could change in a heartbeat if the Camry pulled onto an artery road headed toward the city. He's going about 65, just past Franklin, Hauser updated the dispatcher. Sir, I must advise you not to speed. Hauser laughed. Yeah, okay. The dispatcher repeated her warning, but Hauser ignored her, lowering his right foot. The Camry turned sharply, trying to turn onto a crossroad, but instead slid out of control and hit a parked Audi. He just crashed into a parked Audi. Hauser pulled up behind the guy. He stalled. Should I sit here with my thumb up my ass, or you got someone coming? Officers are on the way, she said. Hauser looked around. Unless you've got some new invisible cops I don't know about, I don't see or hear anything close by. Uh-oh. He's out and on foot. I'm gonna go get him. Sir, please let the officers handle this, the dispatcher said. Sure thing. When they get here. Hauser put the camera down, then hopped from his car. Ski Mask turned around, eyes wide as he saw Hauser giving chase. Hauser was 6'5", 260 pounds of muscle, an intimidating fucker standing still but hell personified when charging. A white mom and black dad made Hauser the perfect shade of mocha, just dark enough to intimidate most white guys when he wanted, but not so dark he had trouble getting into places where the only non-whites welcome were on the payroll. Ski Mask dropped his duffel and reached behind his back. Oh shit. Ski Mask didn't have a gun, but he did have a blade. Hauser smiled. From 10 feet, the blade was a kernel of corn in a pile of shit, unless Ski Mask was a ninja. Hauser pulled his gun. Drop the knife. The dispatcher spoke. Sir, do you still have a visual on the suspect? You could say that, Hauser said. He's waving a knife around, but I'm pretty sure I can squeeze off 6 shots before he reaches me. What do you think? Hauser said this for Ski Mask's benefit, not the dispatcher's, who only answered with an uncertain sigh. Hauser was pretty sure she was starting to take a shine to him. Ski Mask's eyes were wide and terrified. He dropped the knife, then the bag. Good boy. Hauser advanced, gun still drawn, ready to drop the phone in a moment's notice to either chase or fight. He didn't have to do either. A siren blurted behind him, followed by a woman's voice over the speaker. Put the gun down, sir. I've got to go now, Hauser said to the dispatcher, then set the phone on the ground beside his gun, nice and slow. As 2 uniformed officers approached, guns drawn on him and Ski Mask, Hauser turned to explain the situation, then smiled at the familiar face of Detective Stephen Chan. Oh, Jesus, Chan grinned. I heard some crazy asshole was chasing a suspect around the city. Should have known it was you. What the hell are you doing here? Nice to see you too. Hauser pointed toward his gun and phone. May I? Yeah. Chan nodded. Chan and Hauser came up through the academy together, working for the Ocean County Sheriff's Office. Chan was one of the few guys Hauser didn't piss off during his tenure. Last he and Chan talked was about a year back, when Chan contacted Hauser about a cheating spouse case Hauser had been working that turned ugly. The other cop, a short woman with auburn hair and a short ponytail and thick horn-rimmed glasses, cuffed Ski Mask as Chan grinned and shook Hauser's hand. So what? You were bored and figured you'd swing by and help us out. Something like that. Hauser holstered his gun and clicked end on the phone, now that he didn't need a recording in case shit went south and he got shot. I was working a slip-and-fall case and saw this dumbass sneaking around in broad fucking daylight with a ski mask and crowbar, breaking into a house. Chan's partner pulled the ski mask off, revealing a pale teenage kid with a lip ring and a bad case of acne. His hair was bleached white, making his fuzzy, dark eyebrows look like angry caterpillars. Wow, he is one ugly motherfucker, Hauser said. That asshole chased me down. I didn't do shit. Ski Mask's face twisted and reddened. Yeah, tell the judge. Chan's partner yanked Ski Mask off his knees and let him pass them to the back of the squad car. That's Sergeant Vickers, Chan said. You two would get along great. She's a charmer. Yeah, I can tell. Hauser grinned. I wish I had a partner that cool back in the day. Anyway, I've got video if you want to see. Wow, you must be really bored. I'm surprised you didn't apprehend him too. Chan followed Hauser back to his car. Well, I was trying. But then you all roll up like the heroes, after I did all the work. You ever think about coming back? It's a lot different here than OC. Yeah? Hauser asked. You guys making money now? What do you think? Then I think you know my answer, Hauser said. Besides, you know I don't play well with others. Can't stand the politics. You call me when you make chief. Maybe we'll talk. I didn't say I want to be your boss. I don't need the headache, Chan joked. Hauser opened his car, pulled out the video camera, then hit rewind. He let the tape go back a bit farther than he meant, and the video screen showed a cop in a dark alley with a prostitute blowing him. Whoa, Chan said. What the hell is that? Your home movies? Whoops, didn't realize I still had that in there. Who is that? Chan asked. Some asshole traffic cop in New Mexico who made it his mission to pull me over every goddamn day I was there during the summer. New Mexico? What you doing over there? I go all over, man. One of the perks of working for myself. Anyway, dude kept pulling me over saying I was going way faster than I was, giving me tickets and shit. I had enough tickets to line a litter box. Not sure why he had such a hard-on for me, so after I wrapped up business, I decided to dig into his life. Ah, Chan said, smiling wide. Obviously he hadn't heard about your infamous exploits with OCSO. Yeah, right. Anyway, fucker was up to all kinds of fun stuff. First, I was just looking to prove he wasn't even using the radar correctly, which he wasn't. Then ding-ding bonus, I caught him doing a whole heap of unsavory shit. I decided to fight the tickets and sent a copy of this video to the local news anchor the day before. Needless to say, he didn't show in court. Hauser fast-forwarded the tape to show the burglar. Remind me not to piss you off. Chan shook his head, still smiling. Like I said, I don't play well with others. Then Hauser returned to his car. Hauser returned to Benedict's house to find, big fat surprise, the guy was still home. After another 2 hours of sitting in front of the house, Hauser found himself reliving the rush of the earlier chase, then surprising himself by pondering Chan's offer. He wasn't sure if Chan was being polite or if they really needed cops, but Las Arias seemed like a decent enough place, idiot burglars aside. A quiet seaside town, artsy community, people with money, but without all the bullshit you'd find in Ocean County. Most of all, though, Hauser missed having someone to hang out with on duty while killing the tedious boredom. Chan was one of his closest friends back in the day. Now he spent much of his time waiting for people to do stupid shit while he stared at his iPad. Hauser had been working for himself for 7 years, building his agency with 3 other investigators, and was now taking only the jobs he wanted to take. He was in the best position of his life, making good money, a ridiculous amount sometimes, and providing 2 other investigators with regular work. But there were times when he missed his work having any real meaning beyond catching a cheating spouse or someone for insurance fraud. He rarely had the chance to help real people in need. Sure, he helped people protect their assets and insurance companies reclaim their money, but he wasn't nailing violent criminals, solving murders, or any of the other things Chan did on a daily basis. Of course, if you asked Chan how he felt about his job most days, he'd probably say he was frustrated they couldn't do more to help people. Annoyed that more often than not, the bad guys walked or the cops got there too late or there wasn't anything they could do to protect abused kids or spouses. Then there was the Cecilia Ramirez case, the one that crushed him, that one that still plagued his nightmares. No, can't go back to that. He put his pointer on his iPad, flicked another bird at the pigs, and decided he was just fine doing this for the next decade, if need be. After 10 more minutes of bird flinging, Hauser's phone rang. It was Jon Conway. "What up, Johnny Hollywood?" Hauser said. "I'm never in the mood for that, and never less than now." Jon sounded pissed. Hauser laughed. There probably wasn't a rich fucker in the world he liked more than Jon. Jon was richer than all of them. He had manners, overpaid, and was always happy to take Hauser exactly as he came. "Okay, Jon, how may I help you today?" "You busy?" Hauser looked over at the house, then shook his head to himself. "Well, I guess it depends on your definition of busy. I've got cases coming out of my ass, but every one of them's boring as shit. You call to bring some excitement into my life? Can you come to Hamilton Island?" "Hamilton Island? I said I want excitement, not retirement. What the hell you doing back home? The old man die or something? I didn't see shit on the news about it." "No, but there's a missing girl." After a pause, Jon added, "My daughter. How soon can you get here?" Hauser kept his questions to himself since he could tell by Jon's voice he didn't want to talk about it, at least not over the phone. "Gonna fly me first class?" "Have I ever not?" "No, but I like busting your balls, Jon." Hauser laughed again. "I'll be on the next flight, even if it's coach, and swim across the channel if I have to. You can count on me." "I know. That's why I'm calling," he said. "I'm staying at the Sands of Time Hotel." "Anything else I should know? Maybe look into while flying?" "No," he said. "See you in a few hours. Just keep the daughter thing to yourself, of course." "Of course," Hauser said. "Thank you. You're welcome. See you soon." Hauser hung up, then turned to the teddy bear in the cop uniform riding shotgun. "Well, buddy, we said we were bored. Shit's about to get interesting again."